Hi, my name is Tish Mar, and I am a realtor with Big Sky Brokers. And I'm here interviewing Brandon Perschon of Perschon Construction.
Contractors.
Perschon Contractors.
Yes, Perschon
Nice.
Contractors, Perschon Roofing.
Roofing.
We're known for both.
Both.
Yeah.
But would you say, so let's start with that. What would you say most of your business is as far as what kind of construction?
Sure. Most of our business is residential re-roofing.
Residential roofing. Okay.
Probably 95%
Okay.
residential re-roofing. A few new construction projects here or there.
Okay.
And then we'll do some apartments,
Okay.
But mostly shingle.
Asphalt
roof
shingles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some metal if it's a very basic roof, but
okay.
Yeah.
You're more specialized in asphalt, which is the most common around here anyway. Probably.
Right. It keeps us so busy that we just haven't felt the need to really venture off when we're so busy with the shingle.
Exactly. There's probably somebody that does that more metal than asphalt. So there's somebody else to go to for that.
Yep.
Cool. Perfect. How did you start in the business?
So my brother and I worked together actually, and our father was a builder in town.
Oh, okay.
And he was wanting to retire. My brother was working with him at the time. And so he retired, and my brother decided he was going to go work with the company and travel the country chasing storms and be a roofing salesman. And so that was about 9-10 years ago.
Wow.
And he had a family and didn't want to travel around, so he thought he could do this in Montana. And so then he started working in Billings, because Billings had a lot of big storms at the time. So he started working in Billings and made some good contacts there and thought, I don't need to be in Billings, I can do this in Helena. And so he started working here in Helena. And soon, a lot of it was knocking on doors.
Really?
Looking
Nice.
For, going through and seeing someone with a, big patch of shingles that were missing.
Yep.
And then we soon started working with a lot of realtors who would have us do inspections for them.
Yep.
And then it just kind of grew from there. And
Cool.
we used to have to knock on a lot of doors, and now we don't have to knock on any doors. And
repeat business.
We have a lot of repeat business.
That's great.
We keep really busy.
That's great. That's great. So when somebody has, like, say, some hail damage or wind damage or whatever, do you guys help them with the insurance side of that too?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's kind of one thing that probably sets us apart from a lot of other companies is we know how to work with the insurance company. It's part of what we do. We don't mind it. It can be a hassle. And so there's a lot of people that just don't want to deal with that. And so they're happy when I tell them, I will handle working with your insurance company from here on out. You just have to start the process. But as soon as the process is started, I can then contact them. I can provide them with all the information they need, invoices, estimates, whatever they need. If something comes up in the middle of the project, we need to make some changes, I contact them for them. So a lot of homeowners are very happy that we're willing to do that. Like I said, it is kind of a hassle. You do oftentimes have to wait quite a while to get paid, and a lot of companies don't want to wait. So we're just willing to do that.
But think about that, and like in our business, for example, you have a seller who maybe can't sell until the roof is finished. They didn't even know there was a problem until maybe the inspection happened, and now they need it done. And they have so much on their plate that they can't. It's like one more thing to push them over to the insurance. So that's a really nice, that's a nice service, because I was just in that position, and my seller was about here.
Right. And we're, we do, like mentioned, we do work with a lot of realtors, and that's one thing I've always tried to do is be able to react fast for the realtors, because I know you're always
under the gun
you need it yesterday.
Yep.
And so whenever I get a text from a realtor, I know it's because they have the inspection they need to respond to, and they usually only have a day or two. So
that's nice. So do you get where we're coming from?
Yes.
Too? That's nice too.
I'm able to just a lot of times drop what I'm doing and go and do an inspection and get that report in for for the buyer, the seller, whoever is requesting it.
That's great. That's a nice service that you have for sure. Cool. Changes. So it's been a wacky 3 years or so. What have you seen change in your industry, like the last 3?
So a lot of people ran into supply issues. We were fortunate enough that, like, if there was something we normally used that was short on supply, there was usually another manufacturer that was making the same thing,
right.
Or we just had to do a different type of material. We did branch out. Our main shingle supplier, they were so far they could not keep up, so they were only making 4 different colors.
Oh.
And that doesn't work with some people, so we had to branch out to go to some different suppliers, and so that was a little bit of a challenge, figuring out who offered a good product that we felt comfortable using. So those are some changes. Some of the big stuff was cost. I mean, everything. The materials just kept going up. Most roofing materials are not commodities, so the prices for the roofing materials have gone up and stayed up, whereas the lumber materials went up, but then they came back down.
Yeah.
Most of the shingles have asphalt, or they're dependent upon oil pricing, so that drove a lot of the pricing up. That was one of the big things we saw, was just the constant price increases that we were seeing.
What would you say, like 3 years ago, it's compared to today? Would you say it's doubled in cost, or not quite?
Maybe not quite, but okay. But it was pretty close. I mean, you could go to the local store here and buy a bundle of shingles for, at the time, a bundle of shingles is about $27-$28, and now that same bundle of shingles is $41.
Oh, so almost double. Pretty close.
It was a pretty big increase. Metal prices definitely jumped up.
I saw that too.
Metal supply was pretty hard. We were fortunate. We already had our crews set up, and so we've been able to adapt, and we weren't really. I never really had an issue with staffing.
That's great.
So
that's pretty rare too.
That was good. So the guys like working with us, and
that's great. That says a lot about you, really, as a company, if you retain staff in this last 3 years, especially.
Yeah.
Because I think the construction industry has been turned upside down a little bit.
It was definitely a challenge. A lot of people, and there was so much work out there too that it was hard for. On the flip side, it was hard for consumers to find somebody to do stuff for them.
Right. Everybody was booked.
There was so much work that everybody was booked, and And then a lot of the contractors would pick and choose the job they wanted. They were just, if it was small, they wouldn't really
didn't want
it. They could pick and choose, and oftentimes you would find out you didn't get chosen just because no one called you back.
Very true. I've heard of it myself too.
Yeah.
Well, I always like to hear about, like, a big fun project you worked on, or a challenging project you worked on, or something that's memorable in your mind that you can think about, because it's fun to tell a real story.
Yeah. So I guess two different stories, challenging one and a fun one. I'll start with the fun one, I guess.
Sure.
We had decided, I think this was in 2020, we had decided that we wanted to do a roof giveaway for somebody. And so we partnered with a couple different companies around, Big Sky Brokers being one of them, Builders First Source being another one, and we did a radio ad to spread the word of this roof giveaway, and we had a bunch of people nominate people that they felt were deserving of a roof.
Cool.
And in the end, the person that was chosen was a Korean vet from East Helena. That we drew names out of a hat, and so for every nomination, so he was nominated dozens of times by the people in East Helena. Just loved him, an old cowboy, and who has since passed away.
Right.
But we were able to do a roof for him. Cool. He didn't have the money to pay for it; insurance wouldn't cover it, so we were able to do the roof for him. With partnering with a couple of businesses around. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet. And he was able to live out the last few years.
Yeah.
In a dry house.
Exactly. Cool. His roof was in pretty rough shape. And then on the flip side, we've had challenges. I remember we were doing a very large roof, very steep, very big, and there was an unsuspecting rainstorm at night, and everything was covered up, but we had some shingles piled up, and the water caught behind some shingles, and then got through something, and he had a leak into his house. And very nice, very, very nice house. He was a doctor, actually, so you imagine it was a really nice house. And he had some stains on his drywall. And so obviously that was pretty alarming for him. And I took it as a personal challenge to make sure that everything was fixed. I told him from the beginning, I said, I understand this is a challenge, but I said, I'm going to take care of you. I want to turn this into an opportunity for you to look and say, hey, I took care of everything for you, and you are still comfortable referring me to, out to your friends. And so it wasn't inexpensive. We had to hire a painter that had to paint almost the whole main living area. Because it was one continuous ceiling. You can't just do touch-ups. So we painted the whole roof or the whole ceiling. And then I had to bring in an insulation company. Actually, I got up in the attic and pulled out a bunch of wet blowing insulation myself. And then we hired an insulation company to come in and re-blow in insulation into the attic. Wow. And so I just took it as this is a definite bump in the road I didn't want to deal with. But I took it as an opportunity to make it right. And in the end, we got many more roofs because he saw that we really cared about the work we did, and we took care of something if it went wrong.
Yep, so. You saw it all the way through. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. That's what you want. And honesty in admitting that it happens, because we're all human.
That's very true.
And as you know, last night, did you hear that thunder at it was probably 11 o'clock, big old lightning and thunder. So you never know when that's going to happen.
I did not.
I couldn't believe it.
I did not hear that. So
yeah, it was a big boom. Well, cool. So I guess let's talk about things other than work. What do you do when you're not doing roofs? What do you like to do in Helena?
So I'm a family guy. I have 4 kids.
Wow.
3 of them are not, home anymore. The youngest one's a senior at Capitol High School. Oldest one is, doing her career, and the next one here, my oldest boy lives here in Helena with his wife, and then the youngest daughter's at MSU. But family is really number one for me. If I'm not working, I'm always with family. Cool. I like to, we love to go boating. I love to go, fishing or hunting or things like that. Yeah. But I'm always with family when you're doing it.
You're recreating together.
So that's important to me. I try to
because isn't that why we live here? Partly.
Yeah.
In this great state.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's what I tell my wife. So why we came here, but yeah, we like it. So it's just we like being out and just enjoying outdoors but
lots of beauty pretty close by Helena too. 20 minutes you can be in the water.
Oh yeah, that's the great thing. I think we're kind of we have a little secret I think here. We've got skiing. Not the greatest ski hill, but my son skis all winter. He loves it, and we got the water. We got the different reservoirs you can go to. I think we have a lot of great things. We have the best summer, and we had a good fall this fall. We had a real fall, and
I like it. Yeah. So let's just tell everybody how, if they want to get a hold of you for an estimate for a roof or whatever, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure.
Do you have a website or just a phone number?
We do have a website, but you can submit a request through our website.
Okay.
It's PerschonContractors.com.
Okay, I'll put a little post.
And then you can email us.
Okay.
roofinghelena@outlook.com.
Okay.
Or call us on or call me.
Great.
And one thing I try to always do, I try to always answer the phone. I may not be able to answer the phone, but I'll definitely return a phone call.
Okay, good. Because that's not always the case.
I always get back. That's one thing I think does set us apart, is just, even if I'm super busy, I communicate, because I may not do the roof this year, but it could be a roof in the spring that I do. Yeah. So there's no reason for me not to answer the phone.
Right. I like it. Cool. Well, thanks for coming to talk with us and kind of explain what you do. And we'll get your video out for everybody to see it. And if anybody wants to have a roofing estimate or a roof work done, Brandon Perschon is your man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thanks.
Thank you.